What up? What up? We are live. What's up, Mr. Trey Dawson?
It's here. It's finally here. The
It's Derby
anticipated
week.
Ellie Bowman tournament paired with the Bassmaster qualifier.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be nice weather. Maybe a little bit of rain forecasted for Saturday early, but looks to be hot, but it looks to be good. So I'm excited. I'm down here already. Gonna kind of take it easy for the next 2 days and just go out Saturday and just fish, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting going from Truman to muddy and bushes to some nice
Yeah.
gin clear water. So I'm excited about it. But we got a couple guests on here. We're gonna bring Patrick Bowman on and Mike Webb. Of course, this is the Ellie Memorial or Ellie Bowman Memorial event. Huge shout out to Performance Food Group for being a part of this and helping honor her. Let's go ahead. Let's just get these guys in here and get after it. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Fantastic. How are you boys?
Good, man. Patrick, man, we're gonna honor your little girl this weekend. I know we did it last year. It was the first year for Memorial event, but just give us the rundown. Give us, not everybody knows about your story and your family, but tell us about that, man.
Absolutely. Well, it was a decade-long crazy experience. I can tell you that. Ellie was born. Let me think here.
Like I said, he's very upset that he didn't get to go dope.
Do I?
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Anyways, Ellie was born with multiple problems. It's almost countless. I mean, it was like pulmonary atresia. We thought she had truncus, which is sort of like when your heart is essentially turned backwards, but that turned out not to be the case. What ended up happening is Ellie was born without pulmonary arteries. So when she was 4, they had to go in after, this is already after multiple surgeries, but she had a heart and double lung transplant. And she was, I think, one of maybe 2 people ever in her age group to ever have that procedure done. Wow. And not only that, but to live significantly longer than most people that get that procedure live. So, after heart and double lung transplant, we lived in the hospital for, if you broke it into days, probably almost 2.5 years, maybe 3 years. We stayed at the Ronald McDonald House and they were great. And, it was really tough. But one thing is Ellie was just the ultimate fighter. She hung in there. I can't even, she did it with a smile on her face all the time. You'd never know she was in pain. You would never know that she was sick. She was just a bright and shining star. And it's so awesome that I actually am the executive chef for Performance Food Group, and my boss, Michael Buvid, is like, we started fishing together, and, back when Ellie was still alive, and, we became really good friends out on the water and everything, and we talk about stuff. And then after Ellie passed away, Michael was like really upset. We hadn't known each other for long, but he had gotten to know my family, and it was just they did so much for me. I can't even explain. My loyalty to Performance Food Group is unwavering. They just, this tournament and everything, and the amount of time they let me have off. The last 3 months Ellie was alive, we were in the hospital, and they didn't even put in vacation days or sick days or anything. They just let me take 3 months off work. And then a month after she passed away. So, I couldn't work for a better place, and we missed her every day, but, we just kind of live like Ellie is kind of the expression we use. You just live every day like it's your last, hug your kids, hug your family, and enjoy life as much as you can, because you only live once.
And I think that's really cool with the, and the relationship that you have with your boss. I know I had the opportunity to be able to fish with both you guys at Lake of the Ozarks, and just to see that relationship that you guys have built over the last few years, maybe longer than that, I don't know, but I just know that relationship that you guys built seems really inspirational in your life. and you guys kind of feed off of each other when it comes to fishing, and knowing that that's kind of in the same testament with me. It's kind of part of your recovery.
Oh, definitely. I mean, fishing over the past, I mean, I've been fishing my entire life, but when I used fishing as almost an escape from daily life when you were living in the hospital, I mean, I'd take my rods up to St. Louis with me and I'd go fish the ponds at the park across from the hospital at Forest Park. And it was always just a way, like whenever I'd come home and I'd go out on my bass boat or go out on my kayak, it was just sort of like, it was just such a great distraction to sit there and just think about stuff. And you catch fish and it's just a great feeling. It's just like some semblance of happiness in just an awful situation. So fishing's always been a great outlet for me, always.
And you guys absolutely killed it. Go ahead.
Oh, I just said Ellie loved fishing, She would get up she'd be up already. She'd stay up all night. She'd wait for me to get up and leave in the morning at like 3 and 4 o'clock to drive up there. She's crazy, man.
That's awesome, man. You guys absolutely, knocked it out of the park last year, making food at the awards and all that stuff. So something else to be excited about coming back and you guys doing all that stuff. Thanks. Huge shout out to you for doing that. And Michael Buvid. He's also put in some money for the Big Bass Pot. So I think we're up to $200 an hour for the Big Bass Pot for this weekend, or hourly Big Bass Pot. So that's really cool. So really appreciate that. And I mean, it's the least we can do to honor your little girl.
Well, we appreciate it so much. And it's been so awesome, and Callie and I we love that we have so many people that cared about Ellie and, had some sympathy for us. It's really nice of you guys to do all this. So we really appreciate it.
And I believe Mike Webb too has offered some things up in honor of Bass Pro and Ellie too, to give an incentive. Mike, do you want to speak on that real quick? He looks frozen. Mike looks frozen.
There he is. Mike, can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Mike?
Mikey.
That's it. He's logging back out and logging back in.
Are you there?
We're here. Hey, Mike, we were talking about some incentives, and he was talking about the Big Bass Hourly and another one. And I just talked to him about how you partnered with Bass Pro, willing to put something up. You want to talk about that? What? Okay. Well,
I'm gonna hopefully here we go. He's back now. Mike, can you hear us now? Nope. Maybe.
I hope Tyler Alexander's driving to Table Rock night now, because he said that this was his most funnest thing when we are kind of like this. But yeah, there he is.
Mike, can you hear us? Mike,
I think Chad Davison has tapped into his live feed, so he doesn't give any information out.
Mike, are you able to hear us or no? Trey, see if you can text him real quick and see what's going on there. Patrick, you been on Lake of the Ozarks this last weekend, or are you pre-fishing?
No, a buddy of mine. I went bank fishing at Table Rock just for funsies, and actually smacked 22 pounds off the bank. It was
nice.
I caught a 7-pounder and a 5-pounder and 2 4-pounders, and then he caught another giant. So it was just a heck of a day. Every single fish we caught had bloody tails, so that's good news.
Nice. That's exciting.
Yep, that's first bloody tail I've seen this season. I've tried to go out. I'm still without a trailer, Jonathan. Not that you were right or anything, but
I'm not gonna say anything.
Hey, yeah, it is what it is. But just going out, try to go out just and get those beds. But all that cold weather we had for that just random couple months where it's just like that. Usually the spawn happens at Table Rock like first full moon in April, maybe the last, just like the last half of April. And this year it's just been completely weird. I hadn't seen any beds in Kimberling or Indian Point or any of those places down there. And all of a sudden it just snapped. So hopefully, the weather this weekend, we get a low pressure and we start smacking them. I hope everybody just smacks a giant. Maybe not everybody.
How long ago was that you were bank fishing?
Friday night.
You guys.
We can hear you a little better now, Mike.
I wonder if it's because he's going in and out from the Wi-Fi or something like that.
Yeah, I think he just got back on his home PC now, so it should be a little bit better. Whoa.
Mike, can you hear us? I don't know. So maybe we won't get a fish.
I will say that Mike, and in honor of Bass Pro, in the third hour, so the longest, he calls it the longest fish, but our biggest fish on the third hour will also win a $50 gift certificate to Bass Pro. So and that's from Mike Webb and his guide service down there, which hopefully he can get on and talk about a little bit.
Patrick, what are you guys cooking up for Saturday?
Well, our director of the warehouse and a buddy of his are making jambalaya and about 175 pounds of crawfish for you boys.
I'm ready for that crawfish.
Yeah, we had it shipped in this week. It'll be here tomorrow, I believe, all alive and kicking. And we've got 2 giant crab boilers that'll do 80 pounds in like 15 minutes. I mean, it's just insane.
Now, do you just eat the whole tail and suck everything out of it? How do you do it, John?
You basically put both your thumb on the back of the crawfish, like the middle, and then the tail, and break it in half, and then you suck the head and eat the tail.
It's good to know.
Like
Show us real quick how it's done. Mike, can you hear us now, buddy?
Yeah, guys, I have missed everything that's been said up till just now.
Well, we ain't been saying nothing. We've been waiting for you.
Dead
Your
quiet.
lips have been moving.
Just asking if you can hear us. We wanted you to say, I kind of maybe spilled the beans a little bit, but you talk about Bass Pro, and I know you're going to do a contribution to the third hour. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll give a $50 Bass Pro gift card to the longest fish in the third hour. And Trey, you just get their information and I'll mail it to them.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks, Mike. Mike, you want to talk a little bit about your experience on Table Rock, maybe when you started guiding on Table Rock, and a fun fact about Mike Webb, which will win you an award at the next, I believe it is Stockton. We got coming up in June. But Mike, you were a bodyguard for Dolly Parton, is that correct?
No, I never was for Dolly. I worked for Leonard Skinnard and Bob Dylan.
Leonard Skinnard and Bob Dylan.
Yeah. Long
I bet you got some crazy stories about them guys.
Yeah. Yes, it was an interesting time in my life, yes.
And another fun fact, which kind of made me just fall in love with Mike Webb, if you will, was he told me in the early 80s, because he knew that I've spent a majority of my life in prison, that he actually went into Algoa prison, or was going to go into Algoa prison. You can tell this story a little bit better than I can, Mike, but to fight a Golden Glove inmate in a Golden Glove match. How did that go down? Can you hear me, Mike? That was a good story,
Sherry?
too.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Mike?
Hurry up. They're talking to me.
Sherry? That's what when you're talking to a guy that spends about 360 days in the sun, it's always fun. Sherry and Mike's going to get it figured out. He's going to tell us a story about Algoa. Or maybe not. He's probably never going to want to come back from the podcast again.
I think Trey and I are going to get fired is what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, and we're going to blame it on StreamYard. You know, I don't know. You know, I guess next up in line is Steve Billington. Do they really want him on here? We can get Noah Witten and I don't know who else. Who else would do it, Enzo?
I don't know.
Yeah, he don't know either.
Maybe Big Nate.
Yeah,
Big Nate cuts my hair.
Nate cuts his hair, so he could possibly do the podcast. No, we don't want Nate Bowen on here, buddy. Bruh.
I sure hope Mike's just not thinking he's on and, you know, just talking away, or I don't know what's going on there.
I think Mike's gone. He don't, you know, Mike's kind of a special guest. He ain't gonna mess around too much.
Trey, do you got his phone number?
I do.
Why don't you just call him? Let's I know it's probably good to see his beautiful face, but maybe you can just get him on the phone. Tell him Patrick is patiently waiting for a fishing report and exactly what ramp he should go to, because we'll be talking about all the ramps.
Exactly. Mike, we're going to do something pretty unconventional here. We're going to put you on speakerphone. Can you hear us?
I can hear you now, man. I'm sorry about that. We've got full signal here at the house.
Can you guys hear him okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mike, what I was talking about before was one reason that really captivated me to your story was when you told me about fighting in Algoa prison as a Golden Glove boxer back in the early 80s. And I just thought that was a cool story ever, that you actually went into the prisons and actually fought, I guess, a Golden Glove inmate. Is that true, or is that just legend?
No, it's amazing how things get turned around, but no. Boxer from Algoa in the 4-state Golden Glove Boxing Championship. So it was at the boys. It was an Algoa boxer. I didn't go into the prison.
And he was an active inmate from Algoa prison.
Yes, he was.
Did you whoop him?
We went, and when I reached my hands out there to touch his gloves, he hit me in the face and broke my nose. So I took him to the ground, and I lost on points for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, they don't give us inmates very good rep, does it? You know.
So I took second in the 4-state area.
Well, you see.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I think it's a Trey issue. I think Trey is the common issue here on all these issues.
Yeah, I don't know what part of Springfield he's in.
I don't know, but he ain't got no Starlink or nothing. That's for sure. Just me and you, buddy.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've been out twice on the boat, and you build one heck of a kayak, my man.
We're good, man. That's good to hear. I'm glad you're at least getting to take it out and enjoy it.
Yeah, I put it in the back of the truck once, and Jimmy Daniel put me on his trailer once, so I've gotten out to taking it out, and it fishes awesome, man. I was a little worried about that, the 16-inch being on there all stuck up like that, but it does not get in the way at all. I mean, I'm staying in most of the time anyways, but you can see it's like a little bit like the eye of Sauron, like I'm watching watching the hobbits trying to get to Mordor on that thing. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Mike, tell us how Lake's
Trey's
fishing.
seen it. It was just.
The lake is actually fishing very, very good right now.
It's so big. It is so big.
You guys are going to measure a lot of fish. I almost said weigh, but you're going to measure a lot of fish. I personally think smallmouth is going to win this tournament for you guys.
Because they get a little bit longer now, don't they?
Well, there's more of them, and they're longer than the spotted bass by a long ways. You know, my guy trip yesterday, one of the guys had 2 20-inch and 1 19-inch smallmouth, and they might have 20 pounds at the most. So they still have the length, which is one of the favorite factors here. Yeah.
Y'all
Do you
there?
feel like table is just becoming a better and better smallmouth fishery as years go along compared to, like, let's say 10 years ago when you started? Or longer than that, but
Yeah, 30 years ago when I started getting, it was not very common to catch smallmouth. Now, especially this time of year, you catch more of them than anything in April and May. So but I truly think they're going to win this tournament.
be nice. JD, what do you think?
I mean, I went out Monday and I caught smallmouth, largemouth, and Kentuckies. I think it's very well possible. I think those smallmouth can play. I don't know how to target those specifically. But I mean, I think it's going to play. But I agree. I think the lake's been fishing good. I mean, I went out and just threw a jig. I didn't throw a minnow or anything like that. I threw a jig most of the day on Monday. And I mean, I caught them up shallow. I caught them on main lake points, secondary points. I mean, I think it's going to be a good weekend for fishing.
I concur.
Trey, you still there? Now you're frozen. Trey's using his phone for Wi-Fi, and he's probably talking to Mike. It's probably. Trey, are you hearing us?
I can hear you.
We're having issues hearing you.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You're starting to be unfroze now.
You sound like Aaron Neville.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah. You still got Mike with you?
Yeah, Mike is here.
So Mike thinks it's gonna be one on smallmouth, huh? Oh, there he's gone. He's gone. This is brought to you by StreamYard. Oh gosh.
Well, largemouth are definitely biting. I haven't caught a smallmouth yet.
Yeah, I caught a 15-inch smallmouth, and then I caught just like an 8-inch smallmouth. But like my better fish were largemouth and then a couple Kentuckies. Some of the Kentuckies I caught them out of brush piles, which I mean, just on those, I don't even know what you want to call them, just the pea gravel banks with some brush in them.
Yeah.
Are you back with us now?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
You act like you never left.
Did not leave. You were frozen.
Oh, me and Patrick were good, but you were gonzo. You were out.
Mike's still here with me too. He just went over every ramp on the lake that you should launch at. I guess you guys missed out on that. So we'll go to the next segment now. So
let's ask Mike how we should target these smallmouth.
Mike.
Hey guys, yes.
Yes. He said yes. Yes, that's how you do it. Yes.
Yes. If I was fishing this kayak tournament, obviously I won't mention any ramps, but I would have a small tube tied on. I would use it over a jig, over a Ned rig, and over a shaky head. And I would use it with a 3/16 ounce head. And I would be fishing the flattest stuff I could find. And first off in the morning, I would be throwing a slow moving topwater bait across that and keep that handy because today I fished till 1, I think my trip ended, and they were still coming up. The smallmouths were still coming up. Obviously not as often, but they still work as a shatter up on those flat points. So, but in the depth that I'd be fishing is that 6 to 12 foot range. And if you start getting hung up too much, you can change to an 1/8 ounce head. But the key on that bait is to drag it real slow. You don't hop it. You just drag it slow on the bottom, just like you're doing a Carolina rig. And that's the only bait I would have tied on. I've had it tied on for weeks, and that's all we've used on all my guide trips. And that's how I'm targeting smallmouth, just the flattest pea gravel stuff you can find.
You guys heard it here first.
Mike, where are you spending a lot of your time as far as the lake? Like, are you up in the James or the Kings or down by the dam, or is there any areas that you prefer, you personally?
Well, it's not so much where I prefer, it's where that I get called to go to. And right now it's between Point 5, which is Indian Point, and the Long Creek Bridge. That's where most of my stuff is right now. But the same stuff works at Kimberling City and Baxter and Campbell Point. I wouldn't do what I'm doing up the James. It's a whole different fishery. The James is just a different fishery in itself. There's not as much flat pea gravel points up there, and it's a different fishery. It's a good fishery, but what I'm talking about using, it's more the Clearwater stuff.
You know, when I was out there on Monday, I went down by the dam, and that water almost seemed like it was like dingy, like it, you know, wasn't super clean. And do you think that's from the boat traffic, or it's from, you know, from like the rain or stuff like that?
Well, right now the visibility is a lot better than it was when Red Crest was there. You know, the visibility right now, I would say, is in the 4 foot range, maybe a little more. But it doesn't take but a couple of hours of heavy boat traffic, especially on the flat points, to change that. And that's fine. As you know, that's not a bad thing.
Well, I always see them blown out banks, Mike, like Jonathan's talking about in the middle of the day, where it just kind of dominates one side of the lake, or maybe one side that you're fishing. Are you saying not to be scared of that stuff, to still fish it, or just try to get away from that stuff?
No, if I see a mud line from boat wakes, I fish around it. I do. And if you'll just go on the opposite side of the lake as the river channel, so the opposite side of the bluffs, you're going to find your pea gravel flats and that. And the majority of my fish are coming at the mouth of the creeks to halfway back. That's where the majority of my fish are coming right now. And it's really easy right now. It's really easy just throwing that little tube and that small topwater, and don't try to outsmart anything. Just make it simple. A tube and a slow moving bait, a topwater bait, and you'll have plenty of fish.
All right. Everyone listening to the podcast, it just went silent right now.
I'm over here looking at the wall to see if I got any little tiny tubes, or if I got to go hit the tackle store for a third time or not.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the color matters, but I only have one color in my boat, and that's all I ever use is that puke color. That's what I use. I'm sure you could catch them on a green pumpkin, but it's a confidence thing. But if you guys are wanting to target the largemouth, you can catch them on a shaky head with a Cinco on it, and they're on the steeper shelf rock banks, not the bluffs, but the little bit steeper, where you're in 25 foot of water and you can barely reach the bank, that kind of stuff. And that's where the largemouth are. You're not going to catch as many. But I would key on smallmouth because there's so many flat points. You can just, get in a creek where there's a lot of flat points and just work that creek the whole day.
I know the first few times that I fished Table Rock, I was kind of scared because that water's so clear. Do you think guys should be worried about, line size or colors or stuff like that when, at Table Rock?
I really don't think so at all. I'm using a bright blue braid with a 6 foot, 8 pound fluorocarbon leader on it. It's what I'm using on all my rods right now. So I don't think so. And it's not gin clear. It's not. We've had some rain a week ago, and so it does have a little bit of color to it compared to normal. You can stand on the dock at State Park and, you can't see the end. You can't see the bottom at the end of the dock, but I'd say 4 to 6 foot is the maximum you can see right now.
I think that's one thing about you, Mike, that was also really cool is, over the years, you've talked to me about, different baits and stuff like that, and kind of been a mentor to me in a way since the Fishing for Hope tournament by Tron Peterson. And it's just how simple you do stuff. And I think that part of that is just the expense of guiding all the time and trying to keep things, to keep your expenses low. So it can be profitable. But I also feel like you have this old school way of fishing about you, even when you talk to me about your drop shot weight, which is people go and spend tons of money on, these, 6 drop shot weights. And if you want to share what you told me that you use as a drop shot weight and just the simple hooks that you use. And even when you say rigging a tube and how everybody wants to get these, these 4-pack of stupid tubes that cost, $7 when, you're literally out there with a jig head minnow, basically a jig, basically just a jig, like a heavier crappie jig. That just says something about how long you've been doing this, the maturity that you have about, not overthinking shit and thinking that you have to have all these things. Do you want to share a couple of just the simple things that you use that people overthink and think they need the top-notch stuff?
Yeah, I think on the tube thing, the head for that, it's just a ball head jig. It's all it is. The fish can't see what the head looks like. It's stuck inside the tube. So I buy the 25 packs, and I think they're $5 or $7 for 25. That's what I use in tournaments and guiding. So, just keep it. If I can catch them guiding, I can surely use the same thing for a tournament. Just keeping it simple. And the drop shot, those weights, you can buy like 5 for $10, those drop shot tungsten things. And I just use what's called a casting sinker. And that's what we used to use catfishing. It's just a bell sinker with a swivel on top. That's what I use for drop shotting. That's all I've ever used. And I use a 1/2 ounce weight on mine to get it down there faster because the fish don't care what the sinker looks like. So I want to get it down there fast. So I just think people overthink things, It's a lot like forward-facing sonar now. People are making it a lot more complicated than it really is. I've finally flattened the learning curve out on that thing. It's taken me a couple of years. I've got to where I really enjoy it, but they'll buy the tungsten heads and all that. And I can prove to them that a tungsten head does not show up better than a lead head. For one, it's half the size of a lead head. So, and, the advantage of a tungsten is if you're trying to match the size of a swimming minnow you're attaching it to. It's a smaller head, so it's not as bulky. But, as far as shaking a minnow and stuff, a lot of times I just use a lead head on that with a good hook. That's what I use, and it works just fine for me. And it's not that I'm trying to save money on the product, really. I'm blessed that I get a good deal on that, but it's just, you don't have to overthink things. These are fish that are eating a bait. You just got to match the hatch. It's just pretty simple. Whether they're in the mood to feed or not, that's up to them. But if you'll take that 2 3/4 inch puke tube or a green pumpkin and put an 1/8 or a 3/16 ounce head, depending on the wind, and you just drag it around those flat points, you can't help but catch fish right now.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
And I thought another cool thing just to add on that drop shot sinker is you say that they pull through the rocks better when you use them lead sinkers. And that was really cool because, fishing in a fishery that's just a ton of rocks, sometimes you get that stuck in there, and then lead sinkers just kind of get out of that rock a little bit better. So that was really cool when you told me that, and I never thought of it. So
yeah, they do. They work pretty good at it. And the drop shotting just started really coming on right now at the beginning of it, but it's all Kentuckies, and those don't have near the length that the smallmouth do. But you can catch them, and they're 25 foot deep. The drop shot Kentuckies are, and they're off the end of the long points. But there's so many fish feeding right now because all these shad, these balls of shad, they're not giant balls of shad. They're the size of a nickel on your graph. They're up in 4 foot of water out to 15 foot, and they're just pushing them on these flat points, and it's a lot of fun right now.
Patrick, you got any questions? I see you thinking over there.
Oh, I'm just listening and learning.
I will say we did try just to get more distance out of it. My client was not able to cast real far, so I tried a larger topwater bait for him, a larger whopper plopper type bait, and our hookup ratio was very poor. So we went to one of them had a pop R, and the other one had the small version of the whopper plopper, and it was a lot better hookup ratio. And keep your eye out because they're not big schools of fish. They're just like 1 or 2, and there's a lot of fry that are off the bank now too. And if you see fry off the bank, you want to key on that area there because there's going to be fish in that area, and you'll see them flicking around on top, close to the bank.
Do you leave your tube open hooked, or do you do weedless?
I do open hook, yeah, and you do lose them. I make up before a 4-hour guide trip. I'll make up 10 of them, and that's another good reason to use the cheaper ones. But the hook's just as good. But yeah, I leave an open hook. And when you're dragging that bait, if you're dragging it in, let's say 4 to 8 foot of water, that's just a round number there. I've dragged my tube with the rod tip going upwards. And if I'm in 8 to 15, I'm dragging the tube going sideways. So in the shallower water, lifting it up keeps it from hanging up quite as much.
awesome. Well, Mike, man, I appreciate that, dude. I appreciate you coming on and sharing what you worked so hard to just learn over the 30 years of being here and sharing a little bit with us. Yeah.
I'm gonna be out on the water. I've got to take some folks from Toyota out Saturday. So if you guys see me out there, just come right on in on us. If it's a place you wanted to be, I'll move out of the way. So, but I'll be out there, and hopefully I'll see you guys. And if I do see some of you, of course I won't know who you are. I'll just come up and ask you how you're doing, and I won't give you any advice. I'll just see how you're doing.
And feel free to stop over. I don't know what time you get off that guide trip, but we'll be at the Kimberling Baptist Church in Kimberling City, and Performance Food Group Mike is they're going to pull out all the stops. We got jambalaya, we got crawfish. Feel free to bring you and if you got a couple guys on your guide trip that day, to bring them over, grab something to eat, and celebrate with us.
But that's a great offer. We'll be in the dam area because I'm picking them up at Long Creek, and then I've got family in from Columbia, Missouri, so I'm going to come home after that. But thank you.
That's all I got, Jonathan.
And that's all I got too, man. I really appreciate you guys coming on here. Appreciate
Is there
you
a way for me
taking
to
your
follow
time.
this online?
Yep, I'll send you a link to the Tourney X leaderboard, Mike.
Great. Well, that sounds good. I'm excited to follow that, and don't forget the longest fish, third hour. I'll send you a $50 Bass Pro gift card.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. Great show. Sorry for the minor difficulties, but we got to figure it out. So yeah.
Yeah. Just call me anytime you need anything, Trey.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, man.
Trey. He said Trey. None of y'all be calling. She said Trey. Y'all heard Trey. Trey. Not Patrick. Not Jonathan. Not Chad. Not Noah. None of y'all. Trey.
Yeah, well, you guys do those Civil War reenactments together, so.
Hey, he looks like Mike Webb. He looks like he could do one of them Civil War reenactments. You ain't lying, dude. Hey, don't say it too loud. He's probably listening to us. He'll come out and beat
I'll
us.
get knocked out.
Great show. What do you think's going to win it, Patrick? Give me a number.
It'll take at least 90.
All right, got 90. JD, what are you saying?
Fosno won it last year with 89. I think I won it the year before with 92. I mean, high 80s for sure. Because you can catch those 15 and 16 inch Kentuckies all day long. You know, if you catch 5 16s of those, you're at, what is that, 80 inches. So yeah, I mean, high 80s, maybe low 90s, maybe. But yeah, I'd say at least high 80s.
I'm saying 92 and a half.
Sheesh.
I'd stay as far away from those Kentuckies as you can get.
Oh, yeah.
They're great boat fish. I mean, they're like 3-pounders, but they're all 15 and 16 inches. It's just like barely ever will you catch like a 17 or an 18-inch Kentucky at that lake. I haven't done it in years. It always feels like I'm catching the same fish over and over and over again. If I get on a school of spots, it's just constant. They'll just rip every worm you have up. They feel like giant smallmouth, but they're only 15 inches.
I will say though, like usually on Table Rock, it's like I'm going to get a limit of spots, and then I'll go. You know what I mean? It's like if you do get in some spots in some area like that, like keep fishing it, get your limit. But yeah, you're gonna need some largemouth, some smallmouth too. I mean, that's what happened with me that year that I wanted is I had a bunch of Kentuckies and then I had one big largemouth, and that put me over the top. So yeah, I agree. I mean, if you can the smallmouth and largemouth, definitely helps. But if you're struggling to get a limit, go find you a dock with some cables on it and, put your little swim bait on and fish those and get you a limit real quick.
Yeah. I always go by the line of the color of the water. It's just as soon as I can't see the bottom anymore, that's where I'm casting.
Yeah.
It's just if the males are up on beds, I'm like, oh, there's the dark water. I'm throwing right there. Female's probably sitting right off there somewhere.
All right, so to wrap it up for you guys that are just getting on here that didn't hear any of the juice, it's an A-rig, it's a jerk bait. You want to focus on bluff walls, and they're suspended in about 60 foot of water, guys. So yeah, it's going to be tough, and good luck. That's all I got, Diddy.
Guys, seriously, appreciate you guys coming on here. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. Missouri Bass Nation, we got 14 guys signed up right now. If you want to sign up and try to qualify for that, if we get to 20, we'll get to send 2 guys. pay out 2 spots. I think big bass pot was like at $180. I looked at it last time. So if you guys don't want to sign up for that, I totally understand. It's a trek to South Carolina. But if there's some guys that want to sign up just to help with numbers, that's great too. But we'll send the top 2, and if the top 2 don't want to go, we'll just roll them down to whoever wants to. So, but right now we'll always for sure send one person and kind of go from there. But yeah, definitely can't wait till Saturday. Give Michael Buvit and Jimmy a huge thank you and a shout out when you see him, Patrick.
Will do.
Can't wait to see you guys on Saturday.
Looking forward to it.